Hello everyone, I'm GoldRanger88 and welcome back to the podcast. This is Growing Up in the 90s Part 2 and I'm here with...
John from The Invasion Show. What's going on, everybody?
Welcome back. And since I couldn't get a hold of Fry, I got someone 10 times better. Sort of.
Hello, I'm Justin Llewellyn from Film Phreeks on my channel.
Welcome back to my podcast. You've been on one as well.
Yes, I have. I was previously on the one regarding movie reboots.
Yes, look what the world's done. But anyway, instead of rambling on, since we're recording this on a Sunday and my top 5 dumbest videos just went up, I'm also going to do top 5 best 90 toys of all time, but I want to talk about, did y'all have a certain toy that you just really got on your nerves?
I don't think I ever really had one that got on my nerves. There were a lot of ones I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Can't say that I have. I mean, I love my toys.
Y'all remember a thing called Yak Back?
No.
It was like
Yak
the day before phones. Like you say something and you hit the button, it plays it back. Basically like a shitty voice recorder.
Oh my God, yes.
And all your siblings with it. Yeah, so one of my best friends commented, he's like, I smashed my brothers, I hated it, so I'm like, good to know that pisses you off and Furbies. Because that's the reason why I actually fucking gave that thing red eyes on the thumbnail, just to piss him off. He's still angry about that, too. Your ass.
Oh man, that was back in '95, the Yak Back.
Yeah.
That thing was fun.
I had one, and just as a kid, it was like, I forgot who gave it to me. It might have been a birthday gift, but it's like that and they said Pogs on the list is like the worst thing ever invented. I'm like, I had a ton of those.
Man, I still don't know what Pogs are. I gotta look it up.
Please, it's like little cardboard things you throw on the ground and you flip the other ones up. It's kind of like a shitty version of Jacks.
Okay, I just saw an image. See, the thing is, I think I did have this, but I never knew how to play it. I couldn't read instructions back then. Like,
it's like
and I see,
let it rip.
I see kids now who are more intellectual than me. You know, at that age I was back then. I'm like, how the hell is this possible? The damn internet, man! I tell you, the damn internet.
Okay, yeah, I do remember this. I had a similar electronic that was like that because what I would do is I would record the voices all the time for my brother, and I would play it back to him, or I'd play it around my parents, and they would think that my brother was saying stuff to him.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can. It was a voice modifier too. It changes the voice, like the pitch. I do remember that.
Yeah, kind of like.
Yeah, it was like the Talk Boy. It was like the Talk
awesome.
Boy from '92.
All right, I guess the other thing, like, I'm still gonna go through the list. Did y'all ever want to beat like your siblings up or just someone up, but you couldn't use your fist?
Yeah.
No, I beat them up with the fists, man. We
Thank you, John.
duked it out.
Thank you for agreeing with me. Sock and boppers, goddamn, that's a stupid catch song.
I remember that toy. I used to have one of them.
A lot. God, what's wrong with you?
Man. I love the commercials. I always wanted one, but I just couldn't get one. I couldn't find one in the Toys R Us near me.
I'm gonna beat you on that one. I want something as a child, and I never got it. Do y'all want to know what that was?
What?
Moon shoes! Moon shoes! I was
Moon
screaming as
shoes.
a kid that I wanted that, and they tried to re-image it in 2000. I was an adult then, so like I was 20. I looked at that thing and was like, what the fuck? I wanted that thing as a kid. Like, that is dumb. It's like, how am I jump high and then crack my skull on a brick? Yeah!
This is a funny story, but many years later, as I was working as a after-school counselor, and we will take the kids up to the gym, they had the moon shoes. And my feet were too big to fit in the moon shoes, but somehow I made it work. But I still managed to get no lift. Those things were terrible.
We invent
Terrible.
our own.
They were bad. They were just bad. I don't know how kids enjoyed that,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I mean, they had one that I didn't care for, but I had to put on the list because it was just so stupid. There was a game called Crocodile Nest. Now, I had a friend that had one because he had a bunch of siblings. Some guy modified it to put like razor blades on top. I'm like,
What?
So basically, this is just let's bite the kids off the thing. It's like, I'm gonna hit the crocodile's teeth. Yes, but if that was a real crocodile, you'd be dead.
Yeah, you'd be sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like
Partially.
dumb, but let's go to the good vibe of the '90s. Does
Please,
anyone
please.
remember Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh,
my
yes, I do.
Amazing.
It's hard
That's
for
when
me to find a sale on the DVD box set.
You know, it's one of those shows that I never really got to watch a lot of,
Same
but when I
here.
watch episodes,
I have
I-
some
I-
favorites. I like the vampire in the hospital. It's like, he's not a vampire. It's like, oh, he's in the boiler room, so this is getting intense.
the episode I remember the most was the one regarding the leprechaun. Well, it was on like this weird stage show they were doing, and it was that episode I remember the most with.
They
Really,
had,
to be honest,
they
I
had
was
one
more
about
of a
creepy shop that it was like this kid has to beat the pinball game, and when he finally is like, oh, you're trapped here forever. I'm like, damn, what a twist.
yeah. To be honest, I was more of a fan of Goosebumps than I was
Same
of
here.
Are You Afraid of the
Same
Dark?
here.
Oh,
Because-
yes.
Because
Scare.
yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark? The most thing I remember about that show was the opening where it showed like that creepy, like dark point of view where it's showing like the swing set and then it cuts in like the attic and stuff. And I swear every time I watch that opening, I feel like I'm watching the I feel like every time I see the opening, it looks like a leprechaun's there.
Okay, let's move on to. Do y'all have
I gotta
a
watch that.
favorite Goosebump episode?
My favorite is probably The Haunted Mask.
Oh, that's a classic.
Both
guys
parts
got it.
actually. I love both the original and the sequel.
I can't remember a single episode, but I remember watching it.
Favorite
I used
one,
actually.
and I'm glad they did this. And you look at this like, God, this is what we dressed in the '90s. So man, we had better fashion sense than we do today.
Well, to be fair, the show was shot in Canada.
Really?
Yeah, the show was actually shot in Canada.
One was shot in Houston, Texas. One episode was.
Well, yeah, I think some of the later seasons they were able to shoot in different parts, but a majority of it took place, I think, in Vancouver or some other parts of Canada.
I mean, my
Like
favorite,
Degrassi.
I mean, my favorite episode of all, and this is like a life lesson, like tell everybody: be careful what you wish for.
I think I remember that episode, actually, yeah.
Great episode, and Monster Blood was really cool.
Yeah. One of my other favorite ones I loved was the werewolf one.
They had two of them, and I can't remember which one. It
Um,
was. They had,
The one I remember is the one where they're in, like, the bayous, and the boy is like, convinced that...
And the grandparents said, "Don't leave the house."
Yeah,
Yeah. Because there was a werewolf outside. Yeah.
yeah. And then...
Just growing up, we had good shows. Did y'all hear we're getting Rocco's Modern Life back? We're getting.
Oh,
I heard about
yes.
that.
Fuck yes.
Dude, at Spencer's. I don't know if you guys know what Spencer's are. You know that store, Spencer's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
The porn
Perfect.
store.
They're selling Rocco's t-shirt, like his little button-up shirt.
You
At
could've got
Spencer's.
that in a Nick box. I'm glad you're telling me this because, oh God, thank you. Quick to the internet. Shut up and take my money.
That's what
I
I
actually got
want.
a Rocco's Modern Life shirt for my birthday one time. I got it in lime green. It's just saying Rocco's Modern Life. He's just waving. I'm like, yeah, that's a cool shirt.
I used to have his comic books. How crazy is that?
I was actually shocked, hearing about this when they were doing this. They all got the original actors, like original writers. I'm like, that's good that you're keeping it simple. A lot of people say, I don't know what this is. I'm like, good. He made Camp Lazlo. The guy that did the Heifer was Scoutmaster Lewis. He's the voice of SpongeBob.
And it's so
Yeah.
meta. Like, they know what year it is. It's crazy.
I love how they kept it as like, I got the new, phone 9. This is the phone?
Dude, I
Yeah.
love it.
I think the thing that got me that I laughed at the most was, this is my old job. Where are the doors? It's just an additional.
Wait, it was the comic book shop, right?
Yes, there are no doors.
There's, no more comic book shops online.
No, it's just a digital printer.
Oh, man.
It was.
They need to bring back Hey Arnold, even though I think they're bringing it in a movie.
Yeah.
I loved Hey Arnold growing up.
There was
I never
about it.
I never really finished the series, but I watched a little bit of the movie.
Oh,
but I never really. With Nickelodeon, I grew up with a lot of shows that were on there, but a lot of time I didn't get to finish all their seasons. Like Hey Arnold.
It's kind of weird to see like Cartoon Network is actually killing themselves. They won't fix Boomerang. The lady that got in charge used to be the toy development for profit sharing, and she became like the CEO of Cartoon Network. And I'm like, and you still put Teen Titans Go. How hard is it just to take one of that slot away and put something else there, except Teen Titans Go, which is horrible.
If anything, they should bring back some old classics shows like the original Batman animated series, Justice League, things like that.
But I think Nick's doing it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember growing up. This has probably been on Nick and Cartoon Network as well as WB. I remember as a kid watching some of the Steven Spielberg cartoons, like Pinky and the Brain, Animaniacs, and my favorite, which people say this is a stupid show,
The Pigeons. Oh, Freakazoid.
Oh, I love that show.
Dude, I keep singing the theme song. Years later, I'm still singing the song.
Hello. Hold on, wait.
So cool, man.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one I loved more because I had both like the Animaniacs and
like the announcer was actually in the show.
On
screen, and it's like Joe Not Now, and then they had this one musical. It's like, yes, it was my cat. I'm like, they got the whole cast singing. I'm like, this is great.
Well, and what's also funny is going back to Animaniacs. For a long time, I didn't realize that the pigeon episodes were inspired by Goodfellas.
Yeah, like that and Godfather too, because it's the fat
God pigeon.
Yeah, the God pigeon.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
They were so good. Oh,
I know. I wish they would bring it back. The last time we even
had Professor Jones in that, it was actually the guy from Lost in Space.
Oh wow, really?
I think that was his last line of work. That's kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, at least he had something. At least he had something great. At least.
I love the fake commercials they did on that show because I couldn't tell if it was real. It's like, I want that, or is it just fake?
Yeah.
And then you get the DVDs like, oh, it's a fake number. Okay. I heard we're getting Rugrats again, but I'm not that excited for it. When I found out the horrible truth of what this show's really about.
Yeah, the last time I really kept up with anything Rugrats related was when I saw the Rugrats Wild Thornberrys movie crossover.
It was 3 episodes into All Grown Up. I'm like, done.
Yeah, I loved everyone. I think I watched every season of the original series, but I never watched Grown Up because I kind of fell out of Nickelodeon after a while.
I missed some of their Christmas episodes growing up, and I was like, wait, Tommy's Jewish?
Oh yeah, that was a good episode though. I did like that.
Yeah, I remember one of my favorite episodes was the one where Angelica is constantly having Stu get her something to eat in the middle of the night,
and she. That's a meme now. It's like, what are you doing? Because I lost all my self-respect.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite episode is where I forget what it was. Dee Dee always has that psychology book, and he was in their house, just eating their food. And I'm like, oh, so you're gonna keep buying this asshole's book?
Yeah.
Like, we're making fun of Dr. Phil, and this is like before we had Dr. Phil.
Yeah. The only thing in speaking of Rugrats, like, I enjoyed some of the movies growing up, like, the first one and the Paris one. Yeah, but the thing was, now that I look back on it, I did kind of notice that some of those ones that they had that were, like, full length, looking back on it now, I feel like I'd probably get annoyed by all the songs they put in there. You know, because in the show they didn't really do a lot of like musical numbers.
Did
But
remember Snick?
yes, I remember that.
Snick at Night?
Y'all got a favorite show?
Probably Are You Afraid of the Dark, and probably All That was pretty good. And
How many seasons did that have?
All That,
Yeah.
it was on for a long time. It was about 10 seasons.
I know in episode 1, what's her name, Alicia or something? She's doing very well because she's a model now. Has 3 kids. I'm just like, Keenan is like.
Keenan's been on Saturday Night Live for a while, I noticed.
Oh, he's been there for years now.
He's on Saturday Night Live, and he's, I think, like, the only one doing the, bits, and he's been there for like a while. I love that anniversary.
Yeah, I remember where they.
Keenan's like, God, Keenan and Kel look great for their age, and they did like the Good Burger sketch on Saturday Night Live.
I know, I was surprised by that.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good
Well, the
Burger.
Good Burger can't take your order.
I'm Lester Lance, construction worker. Like, yes.
Those are good times. I love the big Good Burger movie. They still show it on TV every now and then. That's crazy.
Remember Coolio? Not me.
Yeah, I remember he did the opening to the original TV show of All That.
Like a guest appearance. Like, remember him? No, not really.
He does like weird Japanese shows now or something like that. I saw something. He's over in Japan doing like game shows.
A show that I watched and then I just started hating. Remember Cousin Skeeter?
Loved it.
I think I do.
It's the puppet show.
Yeah, but then they had this movie and they didn't explain shit what happened. So you're not going to explain that, these people are.
I loved it. That was such a good show.
It was like when I watched the movie, I just hated it after that.
It was really hard for me as a kid to hate, cartoons or.
I love King and Kel. I love the father.
The what?
The father from Keen and Kel.
Oh, yeah, the bald guy.
Yeah, Kel, you don't live here.
With the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, man, his damn eyes, man.
Oh, I loved when they got their TV stolen. It was like this little TV, and it was like, I wonder if your parents will be okay. Let's look.
Oh, man.
They're just fucking... I mean, there are just some shows that I do miss, and then there was like Nick at Night.
Yeah, Nick at Night. That was actually that channel programming was what got me into. Well, they showed other stuff not on Nickelodeon, but stuff like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and all that.
A lot of that, like half the shows my parents grew up with, is probably going to Me TV or I can't even think where Fresh Prince would actually go, but
I think it was originally on like TBS and stuff like that.
Yeah, but,
but I remember it.
We got like Adult Swim now and shit. Like, I'm sorry to keep interrupting you people, but we got like Adult Swim now. It's like, I remember when Adult Swim came out, they played some decent shit. Don't get me wrong. We had home movies, and the greatest voice actor that played Coach McGregor is actually playing Archer and Bob's Burgers, and it was like, this is great. But now it's just like, I don't think Cartoon Network gives a shit anymore.
Yeah, I haven't really kept up with Adult Swim over the years. I remember when I first saw Adult Swim come on, they always show like these live action like commercials and stuff between where it showed like people actually literally in a swimming pool doing swimming lessons.
Which I thought was like the best, like, let's go to a commercial or let's start Adult Swim. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and not just that, but Adult Swim also was a block that got me reintroduced to a lot of anime shows that came on there at night. Like Trigun, and stuff,
Trigun, yeah.
and stuff like stuff that I couldn't see on Toonami at the time. Instead, they went to
Season 3, Big O.
Yes, I remember that show.
Bob, they want to do a live action on that. It was like, be very careful. You're gonna piss off
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah, it seems to me that doing live action versions of anime is a very hard thing to do. Because in the past.
Titan. Look what we got.
That was trash. Absolute garbage.
Well, to be
Naruto, they tried their damnedest. I don't think anyone watched.
Well, I guess I didn't mind too much of the Ghost in the Shell movie, but that's only really
I couldn't
because
get
I'm
into
not
that
really too
anime for some
familiar.
reason.
It's just I'm not really too familiar with the anime, so the movie I just found, just it was doable.
Visually, that movie was amazing.
Yeah, it was,
It was
especially the
just,
soundtrack.
it was everything about that movie gave me hope for Akira. So whatever they failed on Ghost in the Shell, whoever does Akira next, because they've been wanting to do a live action version of Akira, they can get the same people who did the visuals from Ghost in the Shell, bring them over, and just bang it out.
Bang bang.
Yeah.
Bang bang. That's right, Bam Bam.
Cactus Jack, anyone? No? Bang Bang? Wrestling?
Yeah, it's
I want to go back deep into toys. Did anyone play with Matchbox cars?
I did that in Hot Wheels in the '90s.
Same here. I still
Whatever
got,
I even
cars
had-
in a 10.
Yeah,
Might be
even
worth something.
Yeah.
yeah. Especially when I was little, I used to have the whole Hot Wheels set where it had like the loops and stuff, and I got it for Christmas at my grandpa's house.
Oh, those were, once you had it set up correctly, those were super awesome.
The Hot Wheel tracks.
Yeah.
Yes. I had the
Do the
Christmas
Yes.
loopy
track,
loops.
and they just like went everywhere and like flew in the air and just like crashed like neat. I remember I was so curious as a child, like the little burner on the side that makes the cars go. I always stuck
Yeah.
my finger in there. It's like ow. It's like let's turn this. He's like ow, and my dad said just quit doing that. I was like I don't know why. I'm just so memorized by it. Like just like ow, ow. I was like my brain telling me to keep sticking my finger in there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say 90 toys were a little bit more haphazard.
I had a lot
Like-
of Power Ranger toys, and since I had to move here when my grandfather passed away, God rest his soul, we sold them all. Look what they're worth now.
Yeah, and it's
like, shit. I'm a dumbass. Like I had one Power Ranger toy that I actually bought from Mega Force. It was a classic Red Ranger with the Green Ranger's golden plate armor. I looked that up. It is worth fucking nothing.
oh wow.
Thanks, Mega Force, for sucking.
Yeah, and I also owned almost all the toys from the Power Ranger Zeo show.
Damn.
I think the last time I had any toys from Power Rangers was when they did In Space,
Same
and
here.
I really loved the Megazord they had as a toy.
I think
It was
I
like
had
really,
everything up to Time Force.
yeah. I had everything up to In
I
Space, and
even
then
had Batman animated series toys, which were like little figures that you put on cakes and shit. But it's like you had like the little set, like those were cool. Remember those birthday things you got on the cake? They were just
Yeah.
toys. Like
I know I remember those. Those were fun.
I told my dad, like, he says don't buy any Halloween crap, and I get what he's saying now. We found shit
Yeah.
from the 90s in a bin.
Dude.
Those little McNugget things you dress up as Halloween figurines.
Oh my! Thank you for bringing that up. I think I had what's the purple one?
The Grimace?
His name? I had him, and I treated him like a little baby. He went everywhere with me. I'm talking about this guy would sleep next to me, and I would dress him up. It was the best ever. I was just gonna say that McDonald's toys back then
were awesome.
were amazing. And then maybe early 2000s they
We
were
got
still good.
Beyblades, which was okay. But
They were still good.
what got
but-
me, I don't know where they went. I think they got moldy or something. Remember Burger King's toys? Were
Oh
freaking
yes.
awesome? But they
You know,
don't
it was-
have the promotion Have It Your Way. We had the Simpson toys from the Halloween Treehouse of Horror. We collect them, and those are basically our Halloween decorations, and they're awesome.
Yeah, I had some of the toys I remember the most getting from Burger King was when they were doing promotions for like Dragon Ball Z and stuff, and I used to get their action figures there. One of them was like the silver-plated Goku, which is pretty cool.
Well, I'm gonna say this: since Rick and Morty did this, and I love the new season, by the way. They got their McDonald's sent them 2 gallons worth of Szechuan sauce. They got what they
What?
wanted. Yeah, from the Mulan promotional movie.
Really?
Yeah, and they said, "Here you go. In some other universe, you'll never get this ever again." That's what they wrote to the creators from Rick and Morty, and I kind of laughed. Since, like, McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, they have the cool toys. Is there a toy that you wish they would bring back today?
Let me think.
Yeah, I gotta think about that one.
I do too, but I just thought that would be an awesome thing to talk about.
You're getting me on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of them I could think of. It's not at the top of my head right now.
Well, there was a promotion for the Power Ranger movie. Remember, we got the fucking Megazords?
Yeah, my friend actually, speaking of the Power Ranger movie from the 90s, my friend Eddie, actually, yeah, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, my friend Eddie actually had the Ivan Ooze, like actual ooze stuff.
I did too, but it was so hard to put it back in the jar once you took it out.
Yeah.
Because it got all over your hands. I love my dad. He was an Air Forceman, but he with grandparents, and then I got a lot of shit because I was like the firstborn. Then I had my sister. Then my brother came along. But I'm at that age now where someone asks me something about for Christmas, I pause like I don't fucking know. I really don't. Like I don't really need anything less clothing or one big thing I actually want. But it's like I'm fine. Just gift cards. Fuck.
Yeah, it's the same with me. Like, I don't really ask much for Christmas anymore.
Because I hate Christmas.
Yeah.
Time is killing us.
Christmas is stopped for me a few years ago. So
I think what happened with me, and I really don't like talking about this. I used to love Christmas growing up, but I think once you get a job, see, I work retail, and I deal with a bunch of greedy people, like gluttony, greedy, and all that. Just like, it's a holiday, you gotta be happy. I don't have to do shit. I hate Christmas. The only reason I ask for Christmas off because I want to spend time with my family. I don't want to take their happiness away.
Yeah,
I get you. Well, there are people like that, People, there's greedy people out there in this world.
That's why I love that Black Friday episode of South Park. If you haven't seen it, just you guys need to watch it. They have some funny quotes in there.
Oh man,
it's true. They actually took clips from 2 years ago, put it on their show. So yes, that's what people do. They trample. Like I don't want to go shop the day after Thanksgiving. That's what the internet is for.
Exactly.
I think like a month ago they had a report saying, "Oh, mall percentage is down by 25%. They're trying to fix it." Good luck. The internet is taking your business. I don't even know why we still have malls.
Amazon is the future. Is now the future. So.
Did anyone even like the malls growing up in the 90s?
I did.
I thought it was a special treat going to a mall.
KB
well,
Toys, my only special treat. And that was basically it.
Well, it was more of a early 2000s thing for me, but growing up and going to the mall, I used to go all the time because they would always have these special action figures that my mom and dad would always get me there that I couldn't find at Walmart.
Voltron.
And it was also the days when, at the time, I was getting more into gaming, and I would always go to the GameStop there, and I would get like anything that was basically on PlayStation 1.
And which the cover had to look cool for me to get.
Oh
something.
Yeah,
definitely.
Guys, I hate to say this, GameStop's dying.
Oh, that's fine. GameStop can die as long as I got
a notification saying all employees after Thanksgiving will work on Thanksgiving. Like, you do that. You actually do that because if I need a game that badly, I'll go to my goddamn PlayStation and download it. I don't have to wait for that midnight crap. To be fair, the one thing I'm pissed at PlayStation now is not worth it.
Well,
I tried it. It's definitely not. It's just too much money.
Because if you're streaming, YouTube, Skype, and any of that, you're losing
Forget
the
about
stream
it.
connection. Yeah. I just have cool old games, and I'm like, I don't want to buy for PlayStation. I just want to play my PlayStation 4 because I put my PlayStation 3 up.
No, I feel you. And when I'm playing on PlayStation now, I notice you do get the lag. You do get some compression because it's being streamed. And also the audio is choppy.
I got, like the fat-ass PlayStation, like the very one that was first made. I got the last one in existence, I heard.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to believe that because I know people
What do you mean?
have it. Remember how everybody went to the slim PlayStation 3?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I got the fat guy. A little modded because I have more space to put games in there. Yeah.
Does it play PS2 games?
It better.
Well, I know that for the old consoles of the PS3, they were able to play. They had the emulator to play the PS2, but the one I got.
I think I had to download that.
Yeah, with the one I got though, my PS3, I can only play the PS1 games.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
Yeah, so it sucks because I'm like, because it's like every time they bring a new console out, they never have backwards compatibility,
All right,
which
and then
sucks.
speaking of '90s, PlayStation 1 or 2, were we all for?
I was I mean, PS2
PS2
technically came out in
2000.
2001.
Yeah.
It did. I thought it came in like '99.
That's
No, it was
Dreamcast.
like, yeah,
Okay, shows what I know, because that's when I. No, you may be right. Yeah, you may be right. God, what am I thinking?
I think in Japan it came out in 2000, and over here it came out 2001.
it was actually 2000 in our time. It was October.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay, and then the 2000. All right, gotcha.
Well,
The PS2. Let me just say something real quick. I bought my PS2. I remember what 300 at the time when I got it. Very first game that I bought was Winback. If you ever heard of that game, it's probably the worst game in existence.
I had a couple of Resident Evil games that were cool, and then my first actual game I bought was Final Fantasy X, my most favorite Final Fantasy game of all, with the best story on it.
Yeah, if we're going back to the early days of PlayStation, from PlayStation 1,
Spider-Man.
one of my favorite games playing on there was the original Spider-Man game.
Oh, really? Spider-Man?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I have it on. It's funny because I have it on PC. That's where I first played that game on PC.
I did too, and then I played on the PlayStation, and then I was like, huh, the PC version has.
remastered version of Spyro soon.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Since
Crash
did so
Bandicoot.
well, yeah.
That's cool.
It's awesome. I like to
I love
see the
Spyro,
classics.
I love Crash. I mean, I don't remember
Yeah.
Crash like I used to, but
Well, if we're going to some other PlayStation 1 games, there were some other ones too that I enjoyed, which was,
Papa Rat.
well, the original Resident Evil games. Even though they were
yes.
hard as fuck, I still got a kick out of them.
I got a story about Resident Evil, man. That game would haunt. You already know. Resident Evil 3 took me a few years to beat,
same
but there was, and I think it's the shortest one in the series, if I'm correct.
I
Resident
think it
Evil 3
is, because the first two games are pretty long.
Yeah, especially 2, with containing that it has 2 discs and whatnot. But yeah, Resident Evil has a funny history with me. I would wake up in the middle of the night, kid you not, and my mom will be playing Resident Evil 2. All you would, I kid you not, all you would hear is zombies moaning and the gunshot, and it would freak me out. And I would tell my mom, "Stop playing that game. You have to stop." It was brutal.
You know what's one game that I thought was scary, but I still played it to this day. I love it. For PlayStation 2, I haven't played the first one. I played the second one, and it was
Onimusha.
Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, I've never played any of the Silent
That
Hill
is
games.
True horror. Not like, oh, it's Five Nights at Freddy's, a scary. No, it's just jump scares. If you want some really freaky shit, Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill is
Siren. It's like,
scary.
Changing. Then I fell in love with Silent Hill 3 because you play a chick, and they had some funny Easter eggs, like the Sailor Moon outfit and this lightsaber. And there was different endings. I learned about that in the later years, but it was really fun. And then
Yeah, I've only
4 was a dislike for me because I was confused as fuck. Then what was was it Shatter? No, it was
Shattered
Origins.
Memories.
it was Welcome
Origins?
Home, Downpour. Those were great.
Origins.
My brother played that. I hadn't played it yet.
What about The Room? That was
4. That
4?
sucked,
Okay.
That sucked for me because I hated it. My opinion. And then we had Shattered Memories, which I don't know why I got for the Wii. It's like, okay, here's one thing: if you're making a horror game and I'm being attacked, don't give me a fucking flare. Give me a fucking gun to shoot the critters. That's what pissed me off. Oh, your phone's your best friend? No, it's not.
survival horror, my friend. It was hard as hell, I tell you.
And then
Yeah, 'cause-
we had PT, which was great. Because all that freaky shit. And it's never going to be made. Never going to be made. Well, have y'all played
Well, wait.
Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, I thought PT actually came out, though.
PT got canceled. It was a demo.
Oh.
It wasn't gonna.
That sucks.
Yeah, because they had a new management, I guess. Have any of y'all played the fan-made Silent Hill game, Room 304?
No, to be honest, I've only played like a little bit of the
You can
first
find it
Silent Hill.
online. It's basically a puzzle. You solve stuff. You see spooky shit. It had a good storytelling.
Yeah, to be honest, I've only played like a little bit of the first Silent Hill game over at my friend's house, but I've never fully played any of them.
What about you, John?
I've played most of the Silent Hill games, and yeah, don't have the what's the word? The fortitude to complete them.
I thought you said you don't have the stomach for it.
Oh no, I can watch all that. It doesn't bother me, but trying to finish the games.
Yeah. Well, speaking of video games, in the 90s, that's actually when we got the start of movies that were based on video games, starting with the classic Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Which at the time, I loved.
Remember
that movie was awesome.
2000?
No, Super Smash Brothers was 1993. Or I'm sorry, Super Mario Brothers, my bad. Super Mario Brothers from 1993.
Oh, I played that. What was Smash Brothers?
Smash Brothers was like 98, I think. Because I remember the commercial they always used to play on the N64 where it showed like them in the field and all the characters are like holding hands and stuff, and then they start beating the shit out of each other.
Oh my god, you and me and me and you. Oh, I love that commercial.
Yeah. I remember someone said this is like the darkest commercial in like 90s history. When Pokemon Red and Blue came out.
Yeah.
They went under a compactor and got crushed. I'm like, I was a kid, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but when you're an adult, it's just like, oh my god, he killed him. He killed him, that bastard. But, fuck, I love Pokemon, except for the Pearl or Diamond, whatever the fuck they call it. Maybe a little bit of the new ones, but I'm playing Emerald for the first time in my series. If y'all haven't seen it, check it out.
Yeah, I've never really played. I played like on my friend's Game Boy Advance. I played like a little bit of one game that he had, a Pokemon, and I also played like this weird one from the 90s on the N64 called Pokemon Snapshot, where it's literally you just take pictures the entire time.
Yeah. Did anyone have a Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color?
I had an original Game Boy.
I think I had all three. Did anyone remember a Game Boy Pocket? It was like SP or whatever the fuck they called it. Anyone remember?
I think so.
Yes, it was super tiny.
Super tiny. Then we'll get like what, the first DS, and then yeah, it just went on. I remember one thing. I want to know if y'all remember this Game Boy camera.
No, I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
I had it, and some asshole fucking stole it and didn't admit it because, well, I don't mean to be racist. He was black.
Well, I don't think color has to do with anything. I think he just wanted it
anyway, and he was one of those troubled childs. And I knew he stole it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Luckily, the only thing that
I can be like Will Ferrell in that movie. Black, stop it, black.
Well, with some of the other games that were popular in the 90s, the one that I grew up the most, and it took me a long time to really get the use of controls, was the original Mortal Kombat games.
Oh god, you and me both.
Yes.
Because the first one I ever played, believe it or not, was the third game on the PlayStation. Or no, I'm sorry, it was on the Super Nintendo. It was the second
Ultimate?
one.
Oh, okay. MK2.
The second one. Because believe it or not, I didn't even realize the first one even existed because much like Street Fighter, everybody always talked about the second one more than the first one.
Here's one.
John,
same thing for me.
We all probably had this Legos.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
I had like the Starship in like the house, and then like the Lego CD came out. It's like, oh yeah, let's go on an adventure on your computer. And that always crashed.
Yeah, I've had
really owned Legos, but I played with them.
Yeah, I've had all this a lot of the Lego Star Wars material growing up. Especially, I had like the Death Star. I had the one where it had the Emperor and Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker Legos.
Good.
Yep. Yeah, I would always recreate that scene with them two fighting the whole time.
I only have this to say. I had the X-Wing really loved Star Wars, and like $5 is yours, already put together.
You know what I was really disappointed with when I was younger was that with Star Wars, the one toy I always wanted but I could never get until like a little while later was the Millennium Falcon. I actually begged my mom to get me that ship.
I think that thing was expensive. Like the bigger models, yeah.
And then when I finally got it, it was when I was on my trip in Kansas back in the right when I was watching Return of the Jedi for the first time. So yeah, the 90s pretty much got me introduced to the original Star Wars films as well.
Well, I didn't. I mean, I've seen Star Wars back then, but it took me many years later
Star Wars fan
to get into the Star Wars. And but I gotta say, I like it. Like, at least watching it now at this age, I can appreciate it for what it is and what it was. You know?
Yeah, but that also depends on which version you watch, because in the 90s, when I was watching them for the first time, I was watching the original versions on VHS before they released the special editions. And then, come to find out, when I watched special editions, I was like, these scenes look different than what I remember.
Damn, George Lucas couldn't just keep it as is and just kept tampering with it.
Yeah, and he's still doing it this day with all the Blu-ray releases they keep coming out with. I wouldn't be surprised if the 4K versions do the same thing.
Oh, God, there's going to be 4K versions?
Well, if they ever release them. I know they've done Blu-ray releases, but if they ever release them on 4K, by God, I hope they could try to at least, release the original theatrical versions on there, finally.
Unedited, or, I mean, not unedited, but, just unmolested.
Yeah.
They should do.
Yeah. So, yeah, the 90s was all, for me, like a great time with, getting into a lot of different impact, with Star Wars, things like that. And the show that got me the most growing up was what got me into anime was Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, I was just watching Super this morning, the newest episode.
Is that continuing from the original series?
I think, is it after the Boo Saga or something?
Yeah, it takes place after Boo Saga, after Battle of Gods and Resurrection Frieza.
Oh, so it's like it's like
pretty much a continuation, you can say. Yeah.
So it's like an in between seasons or something.
I guess I haven't watched.
It's no, you know what? It's after Z, and the movies. I know the first few episodes is before the movie, I believe, or it's after the movie. It gets a little.
I just watched a lot of cartoons, a lot of stuff. Like, I wasn't social. I was one of those shy kids. Like, I'm going to, watch cartoons, play video games. Like, I grew up playing the classic NES and shit like that. But does anyone remember on a Friday night going to Blockbuster?
Oh, yes, I do. I was going to bring that up, actually. The 90s, especially the late 90s, was my time that my parents would always take me to Blockbuster. Mm-hmm. And the one section I would always go to the most is the horror section. And that section is what got me into a lot of the cheesier titles, like the Leprechaun films.
I saw them all.
God.
I think In the Hood was like the dumbest thing they did.
Back to the Hood I thought was worse.
That too.
But yeah, at that point they were just like, all right, I don't even know how much farther we can go.
Because he was that back. It's like, I'll get you back. Like, no, you won't. You're in space. And it's like, oh wait, that's right. You're magical. I forgot.
Yeah. And it's funny because in every film they don't ever establish the continuity of how he keeps coming back.
Well, they had like a behind the scenes, like he left, like, it's like, man, when you're messing with your actors, this is where just like you don't even feel like recording.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, can't we just go home? I remember like renting games and shit like that was cool. It was like, see, kids, back in our time we didn't have Netflix, we didn't have Redbox. This is real.
Yeah,
people want to rent spooky movies, like that South Park episode. Randy bought a Blockbuster.
Yeah, and back then we were able to see the back of the covers and stuff and see what the gameplay looks like and all that. Unlike nowadays, when you go to streaming services, they show a picture of a game and they don't show you like any gameplay of it.
Remember X-Play when we had
yes
4 and God knows what the hell happened? They put like cheaters or cops onto it.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
G4, one of the best channels I have ever came across in my entire existence.
Same
just so you
here
know.
until it just became garbage.
Here's a funny little tidbit. You remember the show The Screensavers?
Kind
It
of.
would
No.
it would every single day at 7 o'clock East Coast over here. It would show up. I love that show. And there was a dude, Kevin. What's his name? Kevin, not Pereira. No, not Kevin Bacon. It was Kevin something. And later on, I think he started up Dig Nation or Dig.com.
I know this is probably
Anyway.
2000 genre. Anyone remember Code Monkeys?
Not too familiar.
Code Monkeys. Oh,
From the
yes!
80s, and it's like this 8-bit shit. Oh, I laughed. I like, good job for making me laugh. Screw you, Dad.
Yeah.
The little Asian
Yeah.
kid.
That was funny because those shows that were on G4 like X-Play, those were actually before I had more access to the internet. That was one of my biggest resources to look at like reviews, because at the time I was looking at games like in magazines and stuff to see how they were rated.
Oh, like Game
and-
Informer, PlayStation, which...
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if they still do that because, hey, we got the internet.
Well, I know they're still doing Game Informer magazines, but I don't know if they're doing any GamePro, because GamePro was one of my favorite magazines. Going to Walmart and
You know
getting
what
them.
they actually charge for a magazine now? $14.99.
I know.
I can go online and get it. I mean, like, magazines are dead. And so is like remember the newspaper when they had like good savings back in the day?
Yep.
Our
Newspapers
paper here
used-
is, like they push. It was like, what's the point? They're going into business charging $3 for a paper. What's the point?
Yeah. Well, and plus, back in the late '90s, that was pretty much my only source to see showtimes for films. It was in the newspaper,
And
because
bingo.
now we have the internet where we can pretty much see the showtimes for movies.
And what location? John, I'm sorry we keep cutting you off. We want to hear your opinions now. I mean, Justin had a
No.
lot of opinions, and like he told me you
No,
don't want to talk.
That whatchamacallit? No, G4, man. Going back to G4,
Let's go back to G4.
it was just, it's not in the 90s, but man, it felt like it was the 90s show,
Yeah,
It
it felt
just
like it was taking us back. Remember Attack of the Show?
Oh, man.
When it was good? When it
Attack
was
of the Show. Yes, Attack of the Show was my favorite. Oh my god.
Melina,
Screensavers,
yeah,
X-Play,
was it Melina Mung is now doing movies.
Olivia Munn. Yeah, good for her, Kevin Pereira is still like doing stuff. He's on Twitch, and he has like The Attack. It's called The Attack. It's just like Attack of the Show, but he has a different cast of people.
She hated being in the X-Men Apocalypse movie.
Did she really?
Really?
She didn't like the outfit.
I thought she loved it. I swore I thought she like made
Tried
something.
squeezing into that thing.
Let me look. I gotta look this up because I love Olivia Munn.
I'm drooling right
And-
now just thinking about it.
Anyway, whatchamacallit? Yeah, they had great shows. Was it Machinima? Yeah, Machinima.
Yeah.
And they had
Well,
the
wait.
Peep Show, and what was that? The late night Happy Tree Friends. I played Happy Tree Friends.
When Happy Tree Friends came along, I was like, okay, no, I
was
want pure
laughing,
games.
But it was just like, okay, a little much, don't you think?
It was fine, but I wanted the games. But Machinima was just nothing but game trailers and like just gameplay of
What
games.
about Icons?
Icons were they did one with Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto 3,
That's
I
when everybody
believe.
Jumped on the wagon, right?
Oh my god, that was one of the best episodes. And then they did the PlayStation, which was
My
great.
favorite
Sony.
Grand Theft
Oh,
Auto was Vice City.
Yeah, I love Vice City, but I think the
it's
best
3 in
ones
Vice City.
it's for me it's Vice City, San Andreas, and probably 5 as my top favorites. But I still love 3. But it's just that because they had like a lot more variety with stuff,
Right.
3 I put as like one of my leaser favorites.
Ooh, where's 4 on that list?
To be honest, I was disappointed with 4. I never finished it because I was pissed off with the driving controls, and they had a hard time getting into it.
Oh man,
Guys, we're gonna have to, end it. We've been going on for a good while. We've been going on for an hour and a half.
About an hour.
yeah, now we're over here.
Well, think we covered a lot of 90s topics today, don't you think?
Yeah. If you had any other topics, we could also talk about how the '90s was also the rise of independent filmmaking. How directors like Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino got their start.
I love Kevin Smith.
Yeah,
love that
He
man.
did the smartest thing about just opening his own comic book store and just like, you need something, you gotta call the big boss, and I gotta approve it. If not, make him approve it. Like, man.
That, and he makes movies that he would enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I
And-
love about it.
Well, I will say this has really been fun, and I thank you, John, for coming. Justin, thank you for coming.
No problem, man. It's great being on here again.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
I'm GoldRanger88. I want to thank the Invasion Show for coming. I want to thank Justin for coming. If you like this video, or you like listening to what we have to bitch about and say, or random on about stupid shit, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I will leave a description to their channels in the links below. And until the next podcast, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Later.